Hello, 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 and welcome back. Today, I am going to be doing a training for you all about how to know if your coaching packages prices are right for your market. And I am so excited to do this lesson for you because one of the things that I think is really, really important in a coaching company that's trying to scale, trying to grow, is making sure your prices are appropriate for your market. Okay. And that is, really being that high ticket leader or that high end leader in your niche. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that we look at what every other coach is offering their services for, and then we go right in the middle. That is a mistake that we see many times that coaches are struggling with. And then when we go in and do their numbers, honestly, a lot of times they're trying to match the industry and match the market, and then they have no margin and they actually are not able to make the money that they want to make. I can't tell you how many times that's happened with our clients where they're trying to charge for a certain, a certain price. Come to find out, when we do the numbers, they're actually losing money on coaching packages. And yes, that can happen. So what we want you to do is to be the high end leader in your industry, in your niche, and also price appropriately for the niche that you are in. And I just want to say, pricing based off what anybody else is charging makes absolutely zero sense, right? It's kind of like trying to sell a BMW and being like, what are all the cars on the lot, right? What is their average cost? And not taking into account that the ideal clients are different, that the specs are different, that the engine is different. All of that could be completely different and also not be a match for certain people. And so what we want you to do instead is to price based on your market, based on high end for your market, and based on high end for what your solution is. Okay. And so when I go into this conversation, a lot of times I get the question but what is a high ticket coaching niche, right? What is a niche that I can charge a lot of money in? You don't go into it from that angle. And here's why. What is high end in one niche is totally different than what's high end in another niche. And there is no perfect niche that's going to allow you to command the highest prices. In fact, for many of you, if we were to give you hey, go sell to $1 million company, you'd be scared as shit. And so that's not going to work for you. Now, for some of you, you're totally cool. I'm going to go do that. Right. And so you want to pick your niche based on your expertise, based on what you bring to the table, based on your strengths and what you know, and what who you want to sell to, who you feel comfortable selling to, and then go rock it out and sell high end on that niche. Okay. So there's no magic bullet niche. Okay. That's my big thing here. And whatever niche you pick though, there will be what the market can tolerate. Okay, so let me give you an example. What might be high end if I'm selling to a teacher with a teacher salary is very different than what I might be able to sell to that $2 million business, right? Two totally different price ranges, two totally different solutions, two totally different problems, right? So hence the problem of looking around at what other coaches are charging and trying to squeeze yourself in there, okay? You have no idea what their ideal client really is, right? And the other thing is the solution you're offering is going to matter. So we obviously recommend high-end group programs because you're able to still leverage, provide customization, and still be high-end, and also still, not have that trading dollars for hour thing, right? So a big part of how we help our clients to have 3-day work weeks is by helping them to build out a group program so that they're servicing in the same amount of time that it would take them to serve, one client, they can serve 10 or 20 clients. So you can see how you can pretty quickly reduce your working hours when you're using a leveraged offer like a group program. And so that there's no magic bullet niche. It's the niche that works for you, that you can sell to, that you feel comfortable going to, that you have rapport with, all of that kind of stuff. Now, the next thing I want to cover is really making sure you're hitting this online marketing. Okay. Online marketing is going to allow you to be super niche, allow you to be, the high end, high ticket in your price point and still reach the 7 billion people on this earth. Okay. So that online marketing is not optional. It is a big piece of the puzzle of how you can do that. The other beautiful thing about it is that when you're selling high end, you don't need that many people. So when you combine the power of online marketing and now you're reaching all of these people, and then at the same time, you're also only needing like 10, 20, 30 clients to be at the 10, 20, 30K mark a month. Now you're like hitting that sweet spot where you can have the business that you want, the lifestyle that you want, and you're also able to do it all from the comfort of your own home. Okay. So in summary, for the first two things, I'm going to also talk a little bit about the art of high ticket selling at the end, because that's really that next piece. Like we talked about the three things to make sure you're pricing appropriately, right? If your pricing is appropriate, but you're not using the online marketing strategies, then there's a problem because you're not going to get the full bandwidth of the people that you could be reaching. And I've seen that in companies, especially now since COVID. I've been helping more businesses that were previously local or previously just like very word of mouth referral and are now really stepping into that online marketing stuff. But then there's also, the art and that goes into selling high end and high ticket. And we're going to go into that next. But I want to summarize these two things. And the first is, again, making sure that you understand there is no magic bullet niche. It's the niche you want to go to, that you feel, like you can sell to them, that you can build rapport with them, that you feel comfortable and confident serving, and that you're going to feel good about serving. And then from there, also using the online marketing strategy so that you're reaching the 7 billion people on the planet and building that high ticket offer so that you don't need like a ton of clients to get to your income goals. That is going to be like the sweet spot. Okay. All right. So we are now going to talk about the art of high ticket selling. So we have an entire module in our program all about positioning and high ticket selling, because it is such an important piece of this puzzle. Okay. And really what it comes down to is that positioning piece and how you're marketing it, but also being able to close on the call. Okay. So usually for high end, we're doing sales calls. Not always, depends on your niche, right? We have a client who serves teachers, for example. She sells high end for her niche is not a multiple $1,000 investment. And so for that, she sells using a webinar. However, most of the coaching industries that we service are going to be selling over the phone for their high ticket programs. Okay. And so many of our clients have been able to double or triple their rates just by having the proper positioning for their programs. And positioning is a multi-step process that factors in and takes into account a lot of brand messaging and brand positioning, right? It's literally your positioning. And so all of that is kind of like, think of it as like the legwork that leads up to the sales call. And a mistake I see so many people making is like, well, I'm getting phone calls, but people are not closing. And so they think they need to learn how to overcome objections, or they think they need to learn how to close better on the phone. And when we back it up and look at what's been going on in the time prior to booking the call, none of that has been like a beautifully aligned volleyball play, for example, where like, you hit it to the setter and then the setter, I don't even know the names of all the positions, but you know what I mean, like that beautifully aligned, coordinated thing. And so what happens is, if you're just trying to like improve that sales call only, you're going to miss the opportunity of one, making it easy. Number two, of setting them up. And then number three, having less calls. So when we implement these strategies that we teach in that positioning module, for example, I had a client who was really struggling with, getting to that next level, being able to triple her rates. And when we went down and looked at it, she was like, I'm doing all these calls and I'm like just exhausted doing all of these calls. And we changed how her positioning was going and what that process looked like on the beginning. And it set up the place so beautifully that she was able to do fewer phone calls, higher conversion rate, and make more money. And so again, that all comes down to the effectiveness of the work you're doing, right? Is that being effective, or is it just a lot of stuff that's not really working as well as you would like it to? So the sales conversion piece is really should just be the cherry on top that closes the sale, but everything else should really set up that sale so that ahead of time, so before they even get on the call. So I want you to think about when people come to get on the phone with you for your high ticket offer, are they the right people? If they're not the right people, your work is in the positioning and the branding and all of that part that leads up to it. Now, don't take that when I say the word branding, that doesn't mean go get a brand redesign and new colors. That's not what I mean. I mean positioning, which is a very different conversation. Okay. But what, that is where the work is. So that brand positioning is going to set everything up, right? Now, if you're getting people on the phone, they're the right people, but they're not closing, then we can look at improving, how you're handling objections, what's going on the phone call, that kind of thing. And even still, there's a lot that we say to go back to the beginning of that to set it up correctly. So I did do an episode on how to overcome them like a coach, so you don't have to be pushy or sleazy. And we can leave the link in the comments below or just search it on our blog, The Impact Driven Entrepreneur. So if you've exhausted the marketing and the sales aspects of your process for getting clients and you're still not able to sell at the price point that you're trying to sell at, then you might be a little bit high priced for what the market is asking of you. But generally speaking, what I see most often is that the value has not been communicated ahead of time with that brand positioning and the marketing, and therefore it's a struggle to sell on the call or get people on the call in the first place. And so make sure you have fully exhausted that first piece. We are going to be doing a free class called How to Create and Package Your $5,000 to $10,000 Coaching Package in 5 days so that it sells. And you can join us there by going to impactdrivenentrepreneur.com/high-ticket. And we will see you over there. Bye.